They are India's ghost villages. They are located on the boundary with China. There are over 180 such villages along Uttarakhand's borders alone. And a new report has just been submitted to the state chief minister that says that 11 of Uttarakhand's 137 villages are totally empty. And in contrast, China plans 400 villages on the eastern sector along the boundary with India. Uttarakhand shares a 350-kilometer boundary with China. What are these ghost villages that the state is so worried about, and why should India worry really? To discuss this, I have with me today Lt Gen Rakesh Sharma, my colleague Nivriti Mohan, and Maj Gorki Chandola. Gentlemen, welcome to the News9 Plus show. General Sharma, I want to start by asking you this. Why should India worry about ghost villages, depopulation of our villages along the boundary with China? Why should that be such a national concern?
The first fact is that, this latest report doesn't take into cognizance the previous report submitted on the same issue.
Yes.
There was a census carried out in 2011 where it was stated that about 1,200 villages are vacated already. I mean, they're being called ghost villages. That time
Yes.
the census called them ghost villages in Uttarakhand, and later on it was established that 800 more. So about 2,000 villages on Uttarakhand Tibet border are stand vacated today.
Right.
There was a migration commission made by the Uttarakhand government in 2017. Now it submitted a report in 22 where they said in the 4 years between 18 and 22,
Right.
another 3,30,000 people have migrated. Now, what happens is that it causes a whole lot of problems here. First
Right.
is that, people go down and merge across with the cities, the cultural loss of people,
Yes.
of the language, of their eating habits, and of course there is a pressure being built up on the urban areas.
Right.
And Uttarakhand villages largely shift to Udhampur Nagar or to Dehradun or to Nainital,
Yes.
areas which are already, breaking off their seams.
Right.
Second issue is that the villages by themselves, having been vacated, there is no, say, kind of domination that was being carried out, say, by shepherds or by Gujjars or by people who used to take their animals up for grazing in summer months. So there is no connect left to the border except for the military. That connect, if you recollect, in Kargil, it was one of the shepherds who mentioned that there has been infiltration here. The domination of these villages and lived-in status is absolutely important. And it cannot be pushed away by any manner as not important. And as time is passing, there is increasingly more and more people vacating there. Maybe all are not permanently vacated, but
Yes.
even temporary. This is a serious issue. And I think the government's policy of vibrant villages was excellent.
Yes.
Policy that the government came up 2-3 years ago. Only thing is that it has to be now put into effect as to how do we do it. And you rightly pointed out that the Chinese actually have 626 odd villages, the Kyokang villages that
Yes.
they have, put across right next to the borders. Some of them are so close that they are visible from own sides.
Yes.
They are changing the character of the demography of that area.
Right, absolutely.
And we are doing the same thing negatively. We are changing
Yes.
the demography of that area by allowing people to move back.
Right.
Now, there are serious issues as to why it is happening. There are socio-economic issues. There are issues pertaining to animals there. There is
Yes.
climate change. There are animals there which come and target these people across there. So there are plethora of reasons why people are doing so.
Right.
But actually, fact of the matter is, it's a very, very important issue.
It's a very important issue, General Sharma, and as you mentioned, it's 25 years since the day that the shepherds at Kargil alerted the Indian army of intruders in Kargil, and the fact that it's shepherds, it's the villagers along the frontier that are actually the eyes and the ears of the state. The sons of the soil who stay there, they actually alert the government on what's going on the border, and especially given the situation that we have with China along the line of actual control, we need every single pair of eyes and ears that we can get. But I want to bring in Major Gorki Chandola in on this. Major Chandola, you run Patal homestays, and one of your objectives is to get a lot of tourists to the frontier villages, to the border villages, to get some kind of activity along there, commercial activity. Tell us how successful you've been. What are the challenges you've really faced in, reviving commerce along the villages of the LAC?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for inviting here. Like Gen Sharma says, so there are two points here. One is the border situation that we have. Also, is the situation of our state of Uttarakhand that we are in. 80% of the state was in the hills, is still in the hills geographically. But it's only about 10% population that is now remaining in the hills. And there are issues right from basic living standards to opportunities for job, etc., etc. Because of the geographical, the way the geography is, the farming per se used to be, it still is being done only for one's own consumption, and the farming is not really of the level that it can be done commercially. It is non-viable in most of the places.
It's subsistence farming, yes.
That's correct. So for want of jobs and opportunities, people like Jalal Sharma also mentioned, and you also said, people have moved to larger cities like Delhi and Bangalore, Bombay. In case of Uttarakhand, Dehradun, Haldwani, these places have been clogged. So what we tried to do was, we tried to do up these old mud houses, the houses which were there in the villages, which have seen almost century plus old homes, which have been standing there, but they had become, people left them, and slowly they just
disintegrate.
Yes. Yeah, and then that's how we started calling these villages as ghost villages. So we started reconstructing these dilapidated homes, and we converted them to homestays. And we have found a lot of people who are coming to us from various parts of the world, and they're very happy to come and stay in these homes. So it has given at a very small level, I would say, but it has given some positive influence to the economy in and around, and people have also started coming in.
Right. It's a different way of fixing this problem, Nivriti, as Major Chandola mentioned, fixing homestays, repairing these old villages. But you're one of those few correspondents who've actually traveled along the border and seen both our villages and the Chinese new villages that Jalal Sharma mentions, the Chaokyang villages, however it's pronounced. But the government has earmarked a lot of funds for this. The Home Ministry, 4,800 crore last year. How is that money being spent really? Is it being visible on the ground?
See, not exactly the Vibrant Villages program.
The Vibrant Villages program, yes.
It is still to come in force, as General Sharma also mentioned. But yes, there are 3,000 villages that are being undertaken under this.
All along the line of actual control.
Yes, in 19 districts and 40 blocks have been shortlisted for this. And the border villages falling in these 19 districts along the borders in Uttarakhand, Himachal, Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh are being covered. Now, out of these 3,000 villages, in the first phase of Vibrant Villages program, around 600 border villages have been taken up, for which government is spending 4,800 crores rupees. Particularly to build roads. Most of the budget is being spent on constructing roads, because when roads are built, that everything
falls into place. Absolutely, education, health, all of that gets a boost.
So this is it's not only Vibrant Villages program that is working in this direction, because as you also said that we have done a series of 2 to 3 stories on the border villages, in which we went to Niti village for the first episode, where we found some areas where government needs to work. So in Niti village, they did not have a proper medical center. There was a school, but it was not running. They did not have water. So all these complaints were made by the residents of Niti village. Now, if you consider some figures in 2011 census, which says that Niti village had around 29 households and 47 residents were there.
Right. Out
Now
of a
in-
population of over 1,000 at one point. It's just come
Yes.
down to that.
Yes, and if you consider the Gazetteer of Garhwal Himalayas,
Yes.
which was published in 1910,
Yes.
it says that there were 250 households then.
Right.
So it has reduced from 250 to 29.
250 households to just 29
29.
households. But
Not
you know,
even 29, actually 11 households.
I want to ask General Sharma this question. General Sharma, is there a need for some out-of-the-box thinking here? The MHA has done what it ought to have done, which is earmark funds, 4,800 crore. It's a large sum, $500 million almost. But apart from that, is there a need for some out-of-the-box solutions like using ex-servicemen like Major Chandola to go into those areas, start industries there, possibly do tourism there to generate some kind of livelihoods in the thing? Because the reason that locals leave there is because there's no connectivity, there's no hospitals, there's no schools, there's nothing. So what are the other kind of solutions that you have that the government could look at possibly to fix this problem? Just like possibly what the Chinese have done in their dual-use villages.
So I don't know what the Chinese have done. Can we do it? Chinese are using a stick, and by using a stick, they are using demographic changes being
Yes.
carried out by forcing people. We
Right.
are a democracy, and we can't follow Chinese, and we need not follow Chinese also.
Right.
Now the fact is that we are an aspirational society.
Yes, yes.
Everybody aspires. Now the Prime
Absolutely.
Minister himself says everybody else, he wants his child to grow up
Yes.
into be educated. Now, if there are 28 households, when Nivriti says, how can you possibly run a school for 28
You can't.
households? And if one village to another village is a strong distance away, then you can't even collect children into a central place to run it.
Yes.
So this requires. See, there is a village which I think Nivriti had gone and seen, or somebody from your channel had gone and seen Handle. Now, Handle,
Yes.
as a village, was adopted by people who are doing only educational work.
Yes.
So I think there's an NGO called 17,000. That NGO is only working on education in Ladakh, into the far-flung areas where they are now. They go for 4-5 months a year, where they teach children, and they involve the families there, also helping out in, say, Pashmina shawl work across
Yes.
there, or things like that. So what government can do, only government can do. But
Yes.
there are sufficient amount of opportunities for the NGOs to start working. And
Absolutely.
I've seen Handle myself. And Handle, it's that far, close to Chumar. But the people, the working out there has been fantastic done. And I got one more point to make. I think many places you go, they are rich in many other ways, minerals.
Yeah.
Say, or like if you go to Ladakh, there are those colored hills. We obviously carry some metals and some minerals there.
Yeah.
The Chinese have found, say for example, like Saichen, a full hill of copper only. So now they are trying to exploit this. Now we have not even thought about those lines as to where is there a possibility of having some kind of commercial activities being carried out
Yes.
closer to the borders, which are of imaginative kind, and you can find out something. Small townships can come up based on many. Terry was a small village at one time.
Yes.
After the dam came up, Terry shifted on top, and Terry became a city by itself. So it's question of developmental work focused to each area.
Yes.
in a different manner altogether. I've been to Niti Pass and Mana Pass. There used to be houses, we used to go and stay there. Now, lately you go, there is nobody. You are just driving. And, I salute Major Chandola of what he's doing there. He's son of the soil. I am also Dehradun type. But the fact of the matter is, this is not a very strong work. We require to get people involved to stay there.
Yeah.
And to till their maize, pulses, whatever they were able to get modern farming there,
Right.
and provide a hospital. You can't have a pregnant lady being brought from Niti Pass to, say, Joshimath, or from or from Chamoli taken down to Srinagar Hospital. It's too far, just too far. We need to provide all assistance, including 5G. Why?
Yes.
Everybody now is computer savvy. You can't say you can only go down to Badrinath or to Joshimath to find a 5G connection. That's not the way things are done.
Right.
We got to change.
Right, absolutely. Bijli, Sadak, Pani and broadband, of course, is one of the key essentials. But, the Indian state, as General Sharma put it so correctly, can't use the Chinese stick. But what we certainly can do is use the carrot approach and possibly grow your own carrots there. Organic farming, who knows? But that's some of the out-of-the-box solutions that we need to look at in addition to what the government is doing, because with a unpredictable neighbor along your northern boundary like China that's working hard to repopulate its borders, create villages where there are none, the last thing that India can afford to have is ghost villages all along its frontier. But thank you very much, General Sharma, Major Chandola and my colleague Nivriti Mohan for joining us to discuss this issue that's seized the government now, the prospect of seeing hundreds and thousands of ghost villages along its frontier with China.